Hello again, Stroke, welcome back to another day of streaming. Today it will be a bit of Warhammer Chaosbane, followed by shortly afterwards, like let's say in 2.5, 3 hours from now I can do some woes. And so let's do some Chaosbane farming and follow that up with some woes. And in the meantime I just quickly need to do something just to resize something. Just give me a moment. I think I'm gonna do it like this. Okay, that should be fine. Just gonna move it here and we're ready. I'm gonna go ahead and start with let's start, I say, with the mage. See how far I was. I think last time I played on the mage I finished pushing one of my invasion ranks and he's probably freshly started, so we'll see. I think that's how things were when I was played Chaosbane with the mage. I've got stuff to collect. I've got rings to collect. Morvo's great helm. Let's compare that Morvo's helmet. Morvo. It's got a lot of HP, but quite the difference in the cooldown reduction. I could put it in the warehouse, honestly. I do have some room. And yeah, I can give away some of the wood, by the way. Like, most of those green items here in my warehouse are for giving away. If you need some gear, always welcome to ask me, and I might have it, and I might be able to provide you with the items you need. So let's see what else can we get rid of in my inventory. We can collect some rings now. So that's what I did last time I played the game. I finished rank 19, but I didn't collect the ring before switching. I can collect one more, but let's just do it like destination. Let's compare now. This isn't good. This isn't good. This is kind of nice. This is pretty shitty. And there's those two here as well. Let's check them. Lasergun QQ, welcome to my stream, dude. Nice to have you here. Feel free to ask any questions if the game looks kind of like something you might be interested in. I would be happy to answer some questions, explain how certain things work. This game, kind of, I would put it similar to Diablo 3 in the way how certain things work, but it's a much simplified, much more simplified. It's a simpler version of Diablo 3, maybe I can say, but it has a little amount of endgame stuff to do, and the itemization is very limited. So I'm gonna show you in a bit, just quickly collecting some items, and then I can start my next chapter, my next ranks. So I'm collecting those rewards here. After completing a certain rank, you can collect certain rewards at specific points. Yeah, I think Wosen would be better unless you are a hardcore Warhammer fan. If you're a hardcore Warhammer fan, this game you might enjoy it, but if you were to decide which one to buy, I do think that this game is probably kind of not as good as Wosen in regards to variety of things to do, variety of builds to make. It still can offer you a bit of fun, especially if you get it discounted, but there aren't many people playing it. The community is quite small, unfortunately. And also there's cheating in this game. People can modify their characters because the characters are saved locally. So you could see someone using a trainer, a cheat engine or whatever. It's weird. I mean, you could end up playing with cheaters in this game, whereas with Wosen, the cheaters cannot play online. They can only play offline. With this game, it's not separated. But I will show you some various types of gameplay so you can decide for yourself. Let me just quickly check which amulet I want. Alright, I'm gonna be going for this amulet, and here I need a crit chance ring. Crit chance. I'm gonna go for that one, I guess. So what I'm gonna be playing here is a speed farming build. Speed farming build, and since I'm starting a new rank, I'm starting from the lowest difficulty possible, and I'm gonna be moving on further. The way this game works is it has multiple difficulties, starting from very easy, going all the way to Chaos 8. So that's very easy, normal, hard, very hard, Chaos 1, Chaos 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a lot of difficulties. You can see at the moment this map I'm doing is rank 20 normal. Rank 20, this is invasions. Invasions are one sort of endgame content that is similar to doing Atlas. It's similar to doing Atlas in Path of Exile. We do have something similar to Rifting, which is separate to this. So I'm going to explain once this map ends. With this build I'm gonna speedrun everything, because everything gets one shot by my AoEs, so I'm just gonna do it like this. And in this map mode you're starting from the bottom and you have to go all the way to Chaos 6. So you're starting from normal and the mods are pre-selected, the map mods that you would have. So every map you're doing has predetermined modifiers, but as you complete ranks, invasion ranks, it gets harder. But the maps would always stay the same. So you can think of this game mode a combination between Rifting and the Atlas in Path of Exile. So let's say if the Atlas in Path of Exile could be completed and then upgraded to become stronger, and then complete it again and upgrade to become stronger, and so on endlessly. That's kind of what this mod would be like, the invasion mode. So I'm gonna explain it easier when I'm in the town. So now I'm back in the town, and this is the regular mode. The regular modes are expeditions and relic hunts. So expedition is basically a regular random map. Then you have invasions and boss rushes. Boss rushes is basically selecting a boss, any boss of the game, and there's 5 acts, so 5 bosses you can do, and it will be on the difficulty you select. So you can start from very easy all the way to Chaos 8. And the difficulty you select here would be effective difficulty for boss rushes, for expeditions, which are just a random map of the biome you're in. I'm currently in Act 5 in the desert, and then there's Relicants, which is kind of you can pay money and you can roll a random map with a random modifier. If you don't like it, you can reset it. And depending on which one you select, there's gonna be 1, 2, or 3 modifiers. So this would give you a lesser, this would give you a lesser plus greater, and this would give you lesser, greater, and grand modifier. And this gives you extra 900% wood quality. And each difficulty level gives you extra 300% wood quality. If you're seeing the wood quality going from 0 all the way to 3800 on the maximum difficulty as a bonus. And what I was doing right now, no, I was doing this one, I was doing invasion. And invasions, you start with ranks 1 through 10 unlocked. And you complete different nodes in order. Excuse me, I should not have entered this one. Well, might as well do this. I accidentally entered it, so... I think I glitched him. I might have glitched him by accident. Okay, so yeah, as I was explaining about invasions, you select a difficulty rank, and each difficulty rank, you can see at rank 1, the enemies give us 100 wood quality. At rank 10, they give us 1000, so each rank adds 100 wood quality. And basically you start by completing different nodes. You start by completing one node, then the next, and so on. And while you're doing invasions, there's something called corruption. And corruption basically takes damage over time. So you would be having 10% of your HP taken per second at Chaos 6 corruption, which is corruption of Chaos 10%. At the start, the corruption is non-existent. The corruption starts after we reach Heart, which is Chaos 1% corruption. But there's things like this and this and this and this, which each give us 15% corruption resistance for a total of 60%. Which basically would make this 10% HP lost per second to 4% HP lost per second. And each of those nodes has predetermined map modifiers. Like this one, you can see skill cooldowns are increased for all players. Each time a hero uses a potion, their maximum health is permanently reduced. So it could be a bit annoying that some of those modifiers never change and it's always the exact same maps placed in the exact same locations. And this is why I think this mod could use a little bit of RNG to make it better. There are cases where RNG is not good, but in this case RNG would be perfect to kind of randomize the placement of those nodes, or if not the placement, at least the modifiers that you can get and the biomes that each node can offer. Since this is trivial difficulty, I'm gonna try and push as soon as I can to something easier, to something more challenging. But if anyone wants to see something difficult, just let me know and I can just switch to a different map mode. This difficulty, even though it's easier to do, this is rank 28. What does that mean? Rank 28 means 2800 wood quality on top of the difficulty of the map. So invasions work differently. Invasions don't take the wood quality from here. So if it was anything but invasion, I would take the wood quality from here. But what invasion does is, depending on the map you're doing, it is taking this difficulty and modifying it. So if I'm doing Chaos 1, which is Chaos 1, this is Chaos 1, so let's say I would be doing Chaos 1 on rank 28. Chaos 1 on rank 28 would be the wood quality for Chaos 1 which is 1700, plus rank 20H, which is another 2800. So it would end up being better than actually doing Chaos 7 relic hunt on Grant relics, which would be just Chaos 7 plus 900. So definitely invasions at the moment and in the game are the best way to get items. So if I were to do Chaos 7, it would be 3500 plus another 900 in a relic hunt, without counting the wood quality from my gear. But with this one, even on normal difficulty, I'm getting around 4000 wood quality on something that I can just one-shot everything just by walking next to them with my AoEs. Of course, yeah, I'm gonna try and push and reach something that's fast to do. And that doesn't mean this trivial difficulty won't drop items. I've gotten green items on 2500 wood quality. I've gotten on 2500, but it normally starts dropping around 3300, 3500 and something similar to that is where I've started noticing noticing the drops. Let me just check. I think I should return where I came from. And this build is a bit special because it allows me to use a certain skill that normally has a cooldown without a cooldown, but with energy cost, which is this skill. So this is the best build for speed farming content that is easy to do. It's the most versatile and mobile build on this class, but it's not the one you use for pushing hard things. So it's the one that helps you speed up the easy stuff before switching to something more difficult as a node, as a map. And that's why those easy trivial difficulties I'm gonna be doing with this, because it just makes things much faster. And you just saw earlier I got a green item even in this trivial difficulty. And the green item I got should be Defender of Utwan's helmet. Okay, let's compare it with my current one. My current Utwan, and by the way, you can switch between different sets. It also switches the builds. You can see here I've got certain skills, then it switches to something slightly different based on what I'm picking. The same goes for my god skills. You have god skills here, and you have the option to mix and match between two different god skill trees. So you can see this build has invested into both, whereas this one has only invested into one of them. So based on what you wanna do, you would be picking different passives and actives to use. So this gives you active god skills, and god skills are something that you can only get from investing into this or this skill tree, and each class has two of its own. So you get some passives to be unlocked and you get actives to be unlocked, but you can't use them unless you spend skill points. And you have basic skills which generate energy, and then you have advanced skills which either have a cooldown cost, or an energy cost. So some skills would cost energy, others would have a cooldown. And then you have the god skills, which do not count as skills, they are a separate thing. And then you have passive skills, and then you have passive god skills, which again unlocked by that. And thank you for the subscription on YouTube, dude that just followed me. I did not read the name well, let me check it. Zverek, thank you for the YouTube sub, Zverek. And speaking of follows and subs, someone followed me while I was offline, so thanks to What Does Zeus as well. Okay, let me get back into the game. So as I was explaining, god skills and passive god skills you only can unlock by investing certain god skill points. I think they're called favor points into this tree or this tree. And once you've unlocked them, you can spend up to 100 points and put skills over here. Like you drag and drop them. Like if you don't want to use this, then that's fine. You can use something else. And that's kind of how certain things work. I don't even remember what I had here. My left mouse, I probably had... Oh, I know what I had there. I know what I had there, I just need to change a weapon quickly. And I had something here which I'm not sure what it was, but I've removed something by accident. Hello Jan Novak, nice to see you Jan. Welcome back. So, did I have arcane secrets? I've already equipped it. I don't have this. I'm missing something here and I'm not really sure what. So I have Quake Shield Mastery. I have Arcane Binding. Equilibrium Action Mastery. Alright, I'm just gonna put wood quality there for now. For now I will just put wood quality for farming. And I can probably remove this one and increase my crit chance a bit more. There we go. So what I'm doing now is I'm farming with an item that gives me wood quality based on crit chance, and I'm stacking items with crit chance in my build. This is my crit chance setup, as you can see. Crit chance, crit chance. Just checking if I've got a crit chance one here. So I'm replacing all the non-crit chance items with crit chance ones to give me more wood quality. You can see this jump to 375 wood quality, and now if I replace the boots, it's 387. This goes all the way to 500 with 80% crit chance, which is the limit. Of course, I'm not gonna be very strong using crit chance stuff instead of flat damage, but as I said, I'm farming at the moment, so crit chance matters. This also would probably be a good option to replace this. To replace this ring with the ring of resonance that I got earlier, but alright, I think I'm good to go. I just need to re-equip this skill. There we go. So the next map I'm doing is again rank 28, but this one is a Prague invasion. This is a small boss fight, a very small boss fight. Currently there's 4 with the 5th one in the works. There's a Dwarven Engineer upcoming, so we have at the moment the Mage, the High Elf Mage, we have a Human Soldier, we have a Dwarven Slayer, and we have a Wood Elf Scout. So the Wood Elf Scout can be built as a summoner or as a poison kind of blade throwing master, or it can be built as a physical damage trap master. So each character has different setups, different classes that they can do. This mage can either be a melee mage, it can be built as a damage over time mage, or it can be built as something like uh, using more crowd controls and stuff like that. And it can also be built as a very durable character, like a bunker, as I like to call it, that gives a lot of damage reduction for himself and his allies. I do not enjoy it more than Wolsen. I'm honest here. I do not enjoy this more than Wolsen. And yes, Wolsen is equal to hype. And this typo you made by typing hope is also true. It's a typo you made, but it's also a true thing. There is definitely hope for us in Wolsen. me personally, I'm hoping Wolsen would turn out to be a success. And yeah, this game is not as enjoyable as Wolsen at the moment when it comes to the balancing and to the itemization. The itemization is kind of very limited. I'm gonna quickly demonstrate it. Let me just clear out the zone where I am. So, come on, stop coming at me. So the itemization, each character class at the moment has 4 different sets. When you get the set, you get a heroic version of a certain skill, with this set I'm getting heroic version of my teleport skill, which makes me being able to spam the teleporting skill for energy cost. It's normally a skill with cooldown, and it gives me those lightning bolts that hit around me, nearby enemies. So it's definitely not that bad. I mean, it still can give you fun as a game, but it's pretty limited to only having set items as the options. You don't have anything that's a unique item. You do have heroic weapons and offhands and accessories, which are not set things, but when it comes to the armors, the only choice the game gives you is the sets, and you just kind of pick between 4 sets and that's it. So there's not much to do in things of variety, because currently the game is balanced so badly that some skills are much more powerful than others, and just the weak ones are not good enough to complete the content at the end of the game. Like at certain time you would reach a wall that you would not be able to go past without getting a teammate to help you. So if you're a solo player, at one point even the strongest build of your quest might need some assistance, and that might not be to everyone's liking. And some classes get countered by some things, other classes get countered by other things when it comes to map mods. So if a build uses cooldown skills, then a map mod that reduces your cooldowns might be a counter for you if it's one of the more difficult ones. Then what else did I wanna say about the limits and classes? Oh yeah, and since there's only 4 sets and only 4 heroic skills that you can get, it's again pretty limited, and the disbalance is so bad that some skills can't do the final few difficulties of the game. Even with the best min-max gear, some builds are just kind of trash. And they need to work better on rebalancing not just this class, any class. Any class has such anomalies. Some builds being very strong, others being extremely weak and just not worth even specking into. One example would be the dwarf. The dwarf has some things that almost every build at the moment that people would consider viable uses. On the dwarf, regardless of what set I pick on the dwarf, I found a setup that gives me crit damage based on my counterattack damage. That is kind of at the moment the best DPS you can get on the dwarf. And regardless of what set I choose to play this build, it's still gonna work on any set. But the only condition would be to use certain skills, because they are the only meta skills for the dwarf. And there's just a little number of skills that are meta, and there's only one that's a real meta for the dwarf, which is it's called Strike of the Anvil. It's basically a leap attack that you can keep spamming if you have enough cooldown reduction. I can show you later. I'm gonna do a few more maps on this. Let's say I'm gonna reach this one here, and then I'm gonna change to a different character. And I'm gonna show you what I mean about the disbalance and the dwarf and everything. But yeah, I do wish that they would focus more on rebalancing for the next few updates. And there is a 5th class coming, a Dwarven Engineer, and the Dwarven Engineer would have turrets and grenades, bombs, etc. So this game definitely can provide you some fun, but not for the price they're asking. They're asking for more than Wolsen costs at the moment, and it can offer way less than Wolsen can offer us. And this is supposed to be a game that's been on the market for 7 months, since June. So again, both games are developed by small studios from France. So this is made by French developers and Wolsen is made by French developers, both indie developers. So what makes this game different than the others is it's the only game that is a Warhammer Age of Sigmar universe game that is in this genre, in the isometric hack and slash ARPG genre. So that's the only thing that could be a selling point for the game, that it's the only one on the market that's from this universe and from this genre. But I think the game was rushed. The developers of Wolsen took their time. They took years making this game. I think this game could have used another year and a half of development before releasing, and maybe doing some early access testing or whatever, like Wolsen did. So if this was considered early access, it probably would not have received such bad reviews on the game on the launch in June. I mean, it did improve. Over the last 7 months I've seen good improvements in the game, but definitely not ones that would make the price worth it for full price. But if you can get it for 50% off, and if you're bored of playing other ARPGs, it's not a bad bargain. But still, at the moment, I just can't say play this over Wolsen. It just, when I know both games are kind of on equal footing, I do think it's much better to maybe pay slightly more. Even if this game is 50% off, I would still probably say save, pay a bit more and then get Wolsen. Unless you are a fan of the Warhammer, you want that Warhammer experience as a hack and slash setting. But yeah, there's a problem that you can't do anything about cheaters in the game, other than playing solo. If you play solo, you're gonna make sure that there's no cheaters to kind of give you buffs that shouldn't be there. Like, I've had cases where I would receive buffs from one person that shouldn't be able to stack. I shouldn't be able to receive 4 heroic buffs from one character, because there's a limit. And he was kind of giving us buffs that come from 4 different sets. Which was weird. Which was weird, and I was thinking, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I thought it was a glitch, and then I realized it was not a glitch. It was just some sort of a cheat. But at first I was giving the benefit of the doubt and thinking it might have been a game glitch. But then I realized I can't do the same thing he's doing with the same character. So it definitely isn't a glitch. And then someone on the official Discord channel posted some screenshots of them finding a cheat and the options that the cheat can give you. And then it made sense. Then all the things I was seeing started making sense. Why I was seeing those things. It's unfortunate because I mean I don't mind people cheating in single player, but if they're gonna do it in multiplayer, at least have the decency to warn the people that you're gonna be playing in multiplayer, because they might not want that, and they might wanna just rather play solo than with the cheat in the party. And this is what I like about Wolfen. It has online only mode. You go in online only mode and you know that people would not be able to make things like those happen. And if this game introduced an online only mode, maybe it might gain a little bit more popularity, but I don't think so. I think that the core problem of the game is with the balancing and with the itemization and the lack of people. But if things start improving, if they start rebalancing the game, if they consider reworking the itemization system to something a bit better and a bit less boring, then maybe the community would start growing again. It's still slightly growing compared to in the summer. In the summer there were a lot of bad reviews. At the moment the game is not bad, it's just not as good as the other things you can get for the same price or even lower of the same genre. So I can't say it's a bad game, but I can't say it's a great game. I can say it's good but not great. That's all I can say about it at the moment. And there is a lot of potential. This game definitely has a lot of potential, so there's room to grow, there's room to change the game without losing the fundamentals, without losing the core of it. The main thing that needs to be reworked is the armors. The set armors. It's fine to keep the weapons and amulets and rings the way they are, but I think armors should not be the way they are right now. Having 4 different sets for each class, like here I've got Caledor Dragon Tamer, which gives me heroic arcane binding, which is a passive skill. Then this one gives me heroic binding light, and then this one giving me heroic step between worlds, and then this one giving me heroic etheric vortex, and then forcing me into making builds around those skills. And it's just very limited, and it's taking some of the worst things about Diablo 3, the lack of variety in armor selection when it comes to making builds, being locked, removing choices away from us. Even making it work like Diablo might be better, making it give us different bonuses based on how many pieces of the set we're wearing. Even then we might have something better and a bit more variety. This would be a little easier way of making it. Maybe having 3 pieces equipped could give us the heroic skill, and then having the other pieces equipped could probably give us the other bonuses. Or maybe let's say having 2 pieces equipped gives us the damage reduction, 3 pieces equipped gives us the heroic skill, and then the health restored could be given when we have all 5 or something like that. Or maybe having a certain piece of the item of the set giving us a certain bonus, another piece of the set giving us a certain bonus, with the condition of having a few pieces together, but not having all of them. That way you can maybe start matching things, mixing this one together with the other one, or completely reworking it, removing those heroic skills from the sets and making those heroic skills obtained differently. Like they've already introduced weapons that give us heroic skills, and that's a great way of spicing up the gameplay. This one gives me heroic Phantom Blade, which is a great skill, and then this one gives me heroic Breath of Fire and changes it to ethereal, so from fire damage to magic damage. But apart from the itemization, as I said, the balancing of some skills is terribly badly done. And the same goes in regards to some difficulties. When you start doing the harder difficulties, if you're not stacking damage reduction, you're kind of getting one shot. And sometimes even with over 200% damage reduction, some maps could end up ruining everything. So another thing that needs to be reworked is the map mods. You have bullshit map mods like this one. Heroes maximum health decreases over time. I don't see how this is fun. If you consider this to be fun, then you must be a masochist, and you definitely have some troubles with deciding what's fun and not. And this one, each time a hero uses a potion, their maximum health is permanently reduced, or hero's armor reduces over time, or this one, skill cooldowns are increased for all players. This is the only bullshit modifier that I could approve of being okay. Increasing the cooldowns of all players, this is a bullshit modifier, but it's a viable one. It's one that makes sense. This makes sense for sure. But this one, and where was it? Hero's armor reduces over time, or each time hero uses a potion, their health is permanently reduced, or there was another one similar, I wanna find it. But anything that reduces the armor and health of a player permanently, depending whether it's on a time-based time-based thing like this one over time, or whether it's when taking hits, it just makes no sense to have such a mechanic in the game. Some of those are pretty annoying, and I can see how they can make people stop playing the game because they feel bad. Look at Wilson. Wilson has such great map modifiers. It's giving the monsters different types of resistances. It's reducing our crit chance by giving the monsters crit damage resistance. Then there's things that increase the monster movement speed. Then there's things that decreases the damage of projectiles. Then there's things that increases the monster health, and so on. Wilson has kind of nailed it, top-notch map modifiers. Even the ones that are bad for us, that we try to avoid in Wilson, are not that bad in the end, and we can try and manage through them. So a lot of things that Wilson did well could apply to this game, and this game could learn from it. Of course, I'm not saying Warhammer Chaosbane to try and be Wilson. It should be its own thing, but it should kind of rework some things to be a little less annoying, and to not make people wanna do something else other than playing the game. I mean, I do enjoy the game, I love it, and I've made content for it, and I'll continue to make content for it because I think it deserves to have, even if a small community, it still deserves to have a strong community. And I'm having fun testing different classes, finding out new builds. It's given me some fun times by trying to make builds. Even though the builds may be limited, I still enjoy finding the few ones that are viable for different types of content. And I can't wait for the 5th class, which should be coming sometime either next month or in March. My guess is probably at the end of next month or the middle of next month is when we are gonna be seeing the 5th class, the Dwarven Engineer. If the developers are clever of this game, they would try to make sure that the launch of their new class doesn't coincide with the Wilson launch, so that they can make sure that the most amount of players could come and enjoy the game. And maybe if there's an Easter sale, maybe a lot of people would get the game again. And this game you can play it on console, which is a big plus for the game. You can also play it with many players in the same PC, another plus. So you can have multiple controllers on one computer, and someone could use keyboard and mouse, and other people could use controllers, and you can play in the same screen without splitting it, just in the same screen. And you cannot do that in many other games in the genre. So this is one of the pluses of this game. The thing is, with consoles you would kind of need to give the developers month and a half for each update after it comes to PC to hit consoles. So it's a bit slower for the updates on console. And that's mostly because of the console platforms themselves. That's kind of how they are. So as I said, I'm gonna switch to a different character. And show you a bit more. I'm gonna let you, even if you want to pick which character you want me to play, I'm gonna show you all of them. First of all, I'm gonna go to the new character selection screen to show you the teasing of the 5th character. So this one is coming soon. This is the Dwarven Engineer. And she's called Keela, Keela. And the ones I've got are the Dwarven Slayer, the Human Soldier, the Mage I was just playing, and the Wood Elf. All of them are fun in their own way. Some of them have slightly more meta builds, others have less meta builds. And the Dwarven Engineer does not come with Season Pass, she's free to play content. And Maverick Neo Gamer, yeah, the community kind of feels like a ghost town indeed. I definitely agree here with you. And if you're having difficulty farming wood, I would suggest try and find a good difficulty that you can handle. And then use that amulet for wood quality based on crit chance. This amulet. Each character has one of those. It's either Pendant of Toting, Medal of the Exemplar, Amulet of Contempt, or Talisman of the Predator. Those are the names of the different classes having those items. So, regardless of the class, everyone would have one of those as an option. Pendant of Taunting or whatever it is, and this gives you up to 500% wood quality. So if you can handle Chaos 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., pick the difficulty you can speedrun and do it. And a great way to start farming wood is on rank 10 invasions. When you start, you would have invasions from rank 1 all the way to rank 10 unlocked. So you can go here to rank 10 invasions, and rank 10 invasions would give you 1000 extra wood quality. So even if you're doing something like Chaos 1 Note, that would be 1000 extra wood quality on top of Chaos 1. And for a newly started character, for a new player, this is quite a lot. Yes, you start at rank 10, but just key thing to remember is if you unlock this, and this. I do have a video online that explains it, but I'm gonna try and say the same thing in a few words. When you unlock this, do not click it on rank 10. So let's say you're doing rank 10. I'm gonna just go to rank 10 quickly again. So let's say you're doing rank 10 and you complete this one. Oops, I should not have clicked on it. Just a moment. Sorry for this. I should not have clicked. But yet, let's say you complete this map. And after completing this map, you get access to unlock the ring on rank 10. What you do is you do not click on it on rank 10, but you rather go back to rank 1, and then this ring would be unlocked. Then you collect it on rank 1, then you go to rank 2. Then you collect it on rank 2 and do it like that one by one, starting from the bottom. Because if you collect it on rank 10, what would happen is you would collect the rank 10 ring, and then when you go back to the other lower ranks, they would already be collected but not in your inventory. So this is either a bug or just the way they intentionally made it, but it doesn't feel right to be able to click on something and to lose rewards rather than get rewards. Yeah, this game definitely, it does have fun, fast, visceral combat like Wolsen, but other than the combat and the animations of the skills, some things are just boring. Some things like mostly the map modifiers that we have are not what I would like to see. And the itemization is my biggest gripe. The balancing and the itemization are my biggest gripes about this game, the things that I would like to see more of. It has very well looking areas, it has a nicely made story. Even though it's a short story, it's still a nicely made one. And it does have the aspect to be a good game, but it also has some of the things that I don't like in games. It has something like endless Paragon levels. Similar to endless Paragon levels in Diablo, here it calls it legendary ranks. And someone posted a video how they're using a cheat to make the limit of that. And the limit of that I think was level 900 or 9000 or whatever, or 1300. I'm currently at legend rank 119, and that takes a lot of playing time just to get this level. And if someone can cheat and just get immediately the maximum just by clicking a few buttons here and there in some sort of a tool, and then team up with others, I mean, in games like those, you want to make sure that that you have some sort of countermeasures against cheating. Like, look at how Wosen did it. They're offering offline only for cheaters, or for people who want to theory craft something and maybe experiment with certain things. They're offering them the opportunity to use offline only, but they're preventing offline characters from entering online. And that's a good way of doing it. So they don't punish the online players by putting them together with the offline ones. So definitely they've got some good things going for them. But yeah, I will be streaming some Wolsen tonight. I'm just gonna do a bit more of this one. A little bit of farming and yeah. Maybe in an hour and a half from now I can do some Wolsen. It's currently 6:47 in the evening here. Let's say around 8 in the evening I can probably make a short break, update my titles, thumbnails, etc. And then do some Wolsen. And I do have some things in mind for Wolsen, because yesterday I got that trial belt finally. So I wanna try certain things with the belt in mind. Right. What I wanna try today in Wolsen, by the way. Today in Wolsen I wanna try this assassin I was thinking of. The Shadow Assassin with a new version. With the trial belt to see how much damage I can go if I go full wind defense mode. If I go max health and 4 shield on my assassin, I'm wondering how much damage I would still be able to do and to survive. So it's gonna be fun testing it with the trial belt. Because the damage was whacking, but maybe with the trial belt it won't be as whacking. So that's one of the things I would be trying. I did test it yesterday for a while, this setup I was talking about. And by the way, if anyone needs items, if you're playing this game and need help and items on PC, you can hit me up and I can hook you up with some gear that I don't need. And on Lost Ark, my thoughts are that Lost Ark is kind of like too much of an MMO. It's too much of an MMO for my taste. And MMOs come with the daily grind. It comes with time gates. It comes with zombifying the players into doing certain things every day, having to log in every day, having to do this activity every day. MMOs have turned into machines to turn gamers into zombies, and I'm not a big fan of this mechanic that came from the Asian market and made its way into the Western market and is now something like a staple in MMOs. I used to be an MMO player. When I was a teenager, MMOs were my jam, but now I kind of have no joy of playing MMOs. It's either I grew up and no longer find joy in doing the things that we can do in MMOs, or just the industry mutated into this zombie making machine. Log in every day. If you miss a day, you lose your rewards, you have to start over. Log in every day, do those exact same quests every day, do those exact same quests every week to get those rewards. Do that dungeon today, but you can only do it those 3 times or those 5 times. So there's that time gate for you. No thank you, I don't like time gates in my games. I don't like having to log in every fucking day just to get a little bit of extra progress. I don't like time spent deciding whether you're strong or not. I think skill and how you use your build should decide how strong a person is, not how many hours he has put into the game. And you shouldn't be time gating a dungeon. If a player wants to do a certain dungeon 20 times a day, let them. If he wants to do it 1 time each day for 20 days, let them. Let people decide how they want to spend their time, not adding time gates. So that's what MMOs for me at the moment feel like. They're feeding on people's egos to try and give them some trinkets and good stuff by getting them to complete certain tasks every day, every week, and to make sure they're logging in every day, and intentionally prolonging the rate of which they can gear up by adding time gates. And that's why the MMO industry seems to be dying out, because you have the rise of the ARPG hack and slash genre. Like, it's never been as strong as now. Yeah, hack and slash RPGs have always been a strong genre and always have been enjoyed, but at the moment we have so many. It's like a boom, it's like a revolution in this genre. You see so many Kickstarter hack and slash games making it. You see so many ones in early access on Steam. You see fantasy ones, sci-fi ones. You have games like Path of Exile having huge success, and you have games like Grim Dawn that still have good success, not as big as Path of Exile, but they have its strong core audience there that comes back after each big patch to enjoy it. So, yeah. I used to enjoy doing PvP in MMOs, and that used to be my jam. I used to love doing Olympiads in private servers in 1H2, high rate private servers. And I think private servers in most games with all that high rate did get it right. The only thing that they didn't get right was the donations being paid to win. And which is actually what made the MMO companies realize that people would pay to win. Before the private servers of certain games like Lineage, WoW, etc., introducing the donation pay to win, the official servers of games didn't have it. Then the official servers saw, hey, if private servers can sell pay to win stuff, why shouldn't we? Then MMO started doing pay to win officially, and then that was what started probably the decline of the genre. I used to love playing Diablo 1, 2. I used to love playing Sacred. I used to love playing Dungeon Siege. I used to love playing those ARPGs when I was younger, but I also was more of a PvP freak. I was the person who loved competing. So Lost Ark is a good game, but it's more of a game for someone who is an MMO fan and wants to have an MMO with isometric hack and slash feeling, rather than an ARPG fan who wants the more casual log in, kill some shit, get some loot, and log out. So if you want something that has sieges and PvP and crafting and different types of activities, probably Lost Ark would be for you. I've played it. I have a account for the Russian version, and I can play it. I cannot stream it because in order for me to play it, I need to use VPN, and I don't have the money to pay for VPN that can handle my streaming connection. I need good download and I need good upload, so I cannot. Well, maybe I don't need that good of a download, but I definitely need good upload to deliver quality streaming, and for that I need a VPN that is paid, and I cannot start paying to do that right now. I'd rather save the money and spend them on machine upgrades to improve my content overall and the experience for my viewers. When Lost Ark, and if Lost Ark comes to the Western market, maybe I would enjoy playing it every now and then, but I highly doubt it. It's kind of too hardcore-ish, too grindy for me nowadays. Okay, Ultimate Carnage. I wanna compare those two. I wanna compare my current Ultimate Carnage with the one I got. This is one of the best axes, and I think I just got an amazing one. What I want in an Ultimate Carnage is cooldown reduction, crit chance and damage. And this one even has counter attack damage, which is perfect. It doesn't have HP, and that's fine. It doesn't have crit damage, that's also fine. But it has the two most important stats for this class, and this is the cooldown reduction and crit chance. If they add PvP, I'd rather them not make the PvP being tied to rewards that are useful for the PvE. I think if they add PvP in WoW or any ARPG game, the PvP should not be tied to the PvE. They should make it like Guild Wars. In Guild Wars 2, your PvP gear is separate from the PvE gear. And this is how you do balanced PvP. This is how you do PvP where you can kind of not tied to time spent playing and grinding for wood to make your PvP character stronger, but rather having some sort of balance there. I think Guild Wars 2, in certain aspects, when it came to structured PvP, nailed down the separation. That's one of the things that Guild Wars 2 did really well, separating structured PvP from the items, from the stats of the items you get from fighting monsters. Okay, let's bless this axe. Okay, let's try again. I want a better roll on this one. So yeah, there's definitely things that that ARPGs shouldn't do unless they do them right. Yeah, PvP should be exactly optional, not tied to PvE gear, like separate than the PvE gear, and it should not reward you things that you use in the PvE. Maybe offering some what do I call it, rewards, cosmetic rewards would be a good incentive. I don't mind PvP rewarding cosmetics that you can use as skins to show your PvE character has been strong in PvP. This is something nice. I think this is something that would be amazing in any game, regardless whether it's a hack and slash or an MMO or a shooter or whatever. I think this is a good reward, like doing PvP by gaining ranks, getting titles that you can display as a flare, maybe getting other things that would tickle your ego and make you do it. That's fine. That's good way of exploiting people's egos and making them participate in certain content. It's not a predatory tactic like some MMOs do. So that's something that I definitely approve. Cosmetic items being tied to PvP. And yeah, that's gonna be optional. Do you want to look like this? Do you want this skin? Then PvP. Then get stronger. Then get the privilege of wearing this title, the privilege of wearing this armor skin, this weapon skin. This is something that's nice. And I would not feel forced to do PvP in a system like this one. So definitely an option here. So if someone wants my old ultimate carnage, you can have at it. I'm gonna put it in the warehouse. Now all I need is a good grudge holder, and I think I already have one. Do I? Like, this is my... Wait, this is my good grudge holder. Oh, now I see what's happening. I was comparing the wrong axis. I was comparing the wrong ultimate carnage axis. So I already had one with cooldown, but with less crit. Yeah, the one I have here is probably a little bit better because it doesn't give me HP, but it gives me counter attack. So it's more of a damage oriented one. Because the counter attack translates into crit damage. I've got this passive skill here, which converts my counter attack into crit damage. You can see now it's gonna give me a bit more because I got more counter attack. And the way it works is 1000 counter attack is 40 crit damage, I think. So on this one, this extra counter attack equals around 40 crit damage. It's not bad, it's not bad. So both of them are good. I can give one of them away, and I'm wondering which one, whether the one with the extra counter attack for crit damage or the one with the extra HP. I'm probably gonna give away the one with the HP if someone needs it. But yeah, that's a good one. Let's keep pushing some content. Maybe an hour more and then I'm gonna do some Wosen and experiment with some new builds in Wosen. But yeah, Destiny, I haven't played much of it. I've only played a little bit in the beta, then I pre-ordered Destiny. Then when it launched, I only played it for 2-3 hours or 4-5 hours before quitting, because I really didn't like how it was going on. And at the moment I probably would be playing Destiny if I had storage room for it. So we'll see. If I can get some extra storage room soon, then maybe I can go back into Destiny, see how it works. But I personally do prefer more of the isometric hack and slashes rather than the shooter wooters. Borderlands 3 being the exception for me playing shooter wooters, but Destiny 2 would feel like Borderlands in a way of controlling the game. Because I'm very bad at aiming. That's why I prefer to play AoE stuff where I don't have to aim very well with my mouse. And in the hack and slash genre I don't have to aim as well as in Borderlands. or is in Destiny. But it would provide me a lot of fun for sure. Wait, what build am I using now? I'm using, oh shit, I'm using the wrong build. I'm using the strong build, not the weak one. So I'm not getting as much wood quality with this build. Yeah, this game still can provide fun. I mean, yeah, it's not as good as Wilson, but it can still provide fun every now and then. And I think for consoles is where this game could be strong if the community kind of starts playing it more often there. Because for a console game, it's probably gonna be hard to cheat on console, unlike PC. So if there's less cheaters on console, it's gonna be better for everyone. And for a console game, it's fine. It's not something too serious. You can log in, play a few hours, get a bit of a gear, then walk back in tomorrow, do some more. Hopefully more people start playing this on consoles, because yeah, maybe on PC it's starting to die out with the release of other games, but I can still see it as a good option for console players until something better comes. I do still enjoy playing this game more than Diablo 3 or Path of Exile, even though it's a game that's much behind them in terms of content, in terms of things. I just have more fun because there's less annoying things, like I don't get punished severely by dying like Path of Exile. Maxing out a level 100 character on Path of Exile is kind of a challenge compared to here. Max level is not a challenge. You reach max level and then you start having fun. Whereas in Path of Exile, the end game comes at like what, level 80 something. You don't have to be level 100, but I like to be max level. The way I like playing games is I like to be max level, and I like to be able to freely respec without having to grind my ass off, just to be able to respect my character and try a new build. I don't like to have to go and theory craft my build with a calculator. Uh, I'd rather have the ability to level up my character and test myself whether this works or doesn't, and keep respecting. I mean, I do enjoy theory crafting with calculators, but I also enjoy making the builds myself in game when possible. And this game is very similar to Diablo in some aspects of how the skill system works, but it does have a passive skill system with the god skills, with those god skill trees, and it does have kind of like Diablo, but not really. It has three versions of each skill. Each skill has three variations, and then there's gonna be also the heroic versions. Okay, what I need to do here to beat this boss, I'm gonna need this one. I'm not gonna do it on... Actually, let's do it on this set. Why not? Let's do it on this set. Okay, we beat him. This guy has a very nice skill. This skill here that provides invulnerability for 4 seconds. And with enough cooldown reduction you can kind of keep this up all the time. Okay, let's go back to my farming setup. What, am I doing a cooldown increased map? No, I'm just invulnerable, okay. So yeah, with enough cooldown reduction and that invulnerability, this guy is pretty strong. It's still not, this is not like a tanky setup or whatever, this is just my farming setup for easier difficulties. The speedrunning setup, as you can see, I've included a lot of mobility and a lot of sustain on my energy. This skill costs me energy to use. I've included a lot of cooldown reduction from the axe, which is not a good axe to do for damage, this one, but since I'm spamming killing champions, I can just kill one champion, reset my cooldowns and be able to immediately attack another one. Let's check the wood quality, 6,500. So I did get a good drop for the few minutes I played today on this guy. I did get that good ultimate carnage, which is kind of rare, because I normally not so lucky when it comes to those drops. I mean, even after a few months of farming I still didn't have a better one of those, so there's that. Okay, this one's done. I'm gonna do a few more maps and then switch to the ranger. And I can't wait for a summoner build in WoW and the Necromancer to get released. Yesterday I didn't notice that someone asked whether Wosen has a summoner build. Asian Eric was the dude who asked, and I didn't notice it until I stopped the stream. Like 1 minute after I stopped the stream I looked up at the chat and I saw I missed a message, someone asking if Wosen has a summoner. And it doesn't right now, but it will when it launches. It will have a Necromancer. So this game, Chaosbane, does have a summoner, and it's fun to play. And I'm a big fan of pet builds. The lazy pet master builds are always one of my favorites to do sometimes. I love playing witch doctors in Diablo 3 when I used to play Diablo 3. And was it druids in Titan Quest, the combination between the nature and other stuff. And then in Grim Dawn also pet builds pretty fun, regardless whether it's with the cultist or not. The Necro and the what was the other one? Necro, Occultist and Shaman were the ones I think that could have pets there. So we'll see how Woes and Necro will be. They still haven't provided as much information regarding the Necro. They're keeping it under wraps, maybe for the next week or maybe for the final week before the game launches, to tease it as a dessert. But I would really love to see some Necro promos, Necro gameplay video maybe, or a trailer that introduces all the different apocalyptic forms and a lot of gameplay with the new classes and builds that can be made in WoWs. And that's what I would like to see as a gameplay trailer, or launch trailer, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, what I think WoWs needs at this point before launch is a good cinematic trailer or cutscene trailer, story trailer, whatever you want to call it, something that's not that much content but more of the other stuff, and then a good gameplay trailer. That's what it needs. Or maybe one that is a mixture 50-50 or 60-40 gameplay and then the other stuff. But a good trailer for Wilson could be amazing at this point. There's not much left until the launch, so this is the time to be doing those promo videos, promo trailers to get the hype going. Get the hype going up. We want more people on launch. We want to be a strong community in Wilson. This game is still fun to me, but I mean, Wilson is just too good to. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this, and maybe in the next few days, every now and then, I might be playing this game, but just for a few hours, not much. Just so that when I start doing Torchlight Frontiers Update 10 gameplay and then Wilson launch gameplay, I would be kind of busy and I wouldn't be able to spend too much time on Chaosbane for a few weeks. And the Torchlight Frontiers hype is real for me as well. For green drops, it's random. I mean, I've gotten green drops on 2500 wood quality, and I've also gotten them on 3000, 3300. I would suggest get your wood quality to like 3000 or something, to as high as you can get to speed farm a map. If you can't speed run a map, then gear up better, synergize the builds better, and then farm whatever you can. That's my advice in the game. Don't aim for certain difficulties unless you can speed run them in a few minutes. Like if you can do it under 5 minutes or under 3 minutes, then it's good. If it's taking you too long, then just lower the difficulty. In this game, time ends up beating. When you're a new character, freshly leveled up, time would be much more valuable than going for a higher difficulty, because each difficulty is extra 300 wood quality. It's much better if you do a lower difficulty, but wear something like this one to get yourself some extra wood quality, and then bless your items with crit chance while you're farming on your farming set. I have, just to show you, different sets. This is my farming set with crit chance, and then you can see the same one with damage and HP. You can see here the same for the chest. This one is with crit chance, and then the same one with HP or HP and damage, depending. So try to use a good speed farming build, something that's quick and mobile. I do suggest using AoE aura builds for farming. So on the ranger, if you're using the scout ranger, you would want to be doing things like poison as a farming set. Not the pushing, but the farming set. On Bragi, as you see, I prefer using Grimnir for the fire AoE. On Conrad, I prefer using I mean, any set is fine on Conrad, but I prefer, instead of using the pushing setup, I do like using Grimnir's Rat. Not Grimnir's Rat, but Sigmar's Rat on Conrad. And on Elontir, I like using the Belkuradris set because it's the fastest one. So combining the Belkuradris with some more AoE stuff, like the fire burning damage around you sword. I think it was called Phoenix Herald, but I'm not sure. Maybe it was Soulfire, but I think it was called the Phoenix Herald, the scepter that burns enemies around you. Yeah, Ushiwo. Feels bad, still no Kiwa. My guess is Kiwa would be coming at the end of this month. I mean at the end of February, not this month, but at the end of February is my guess for Kiva at the moment. For all we know, it could be coming in the middle of the next month, but most likely it would be at the end. because they haven't revealed much info yet, and I don't think they would reveal all the info pretty close to Kiwa coming. I think they would give us like 2 weeks notice before it comes out. Since we haven't gotten 2 weeks notice yet, this leads me to believe that there's more things to flatten out, more bugs to fix before releasing her, to make sure we get the best content they can deliver. I'd rather than make us wait more instead of rushing something and then being not as good as it can be, having glitches, bugs, etc. I can be patient. I'm gonna be playing Torchlight Frontiers and WoWs and more until Kiwa comes. And if everything comes at the same time, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be nightmare for me. But I'm still considering this as a possibility. Like Kiwa coming together with WoWs and Update, or Kiwa coming together with Torchlight's update. My guess is Torchlight probably is gonna update in 1 or 2 weeks, and we know WoWs already has a fixed date when it's coming. And since we don't know anything about Kiwa, other than what class she will be and how she looks, I'm kind of I don't even know what to think about Kiwa at this point regarding release date. But yeah, I'm gonna say end of February is pretty safe to say. I don't think we're gonna be getting it in March. If it ends up being March, it's probably gonna be very early March, but my guess is late February. But who knows? I have no idea, because they don't have a Trewu board. They don't have a Trewu board and they did not make a roadmap for this year. So at the moment we don't know what to expect and when to expect it. And that's the thing, this game had a rough start. Rough start would mean lack of funds. If not many people bought the game when it launched, lack of funds, and lack of funds would probably mean slow development, because lack of resources. So we'll see if things will get better. They were focusing, I think, on bringing the Tomb Kings to PlayStation and Xbox. And now that that is done, now that they released this week the patch for Xbox and PS, they can probably start focusing on Kiwa for the next month. What did we get? Insatiable, yeah. Yes, we are. Insatiable we are. Just like the axe. You gotta feed us some good wood. Where is the exit? Exit. Right, let's just exit the area. But yeah, I think anything above 3000 wood quality is fine. Of course, the more the merrier, but I'd rather do invasion rank 10 and just try to push invasion rank 10 as far as you can. And it's better to push the easy nodes in the invasions while you're still gearing up. Because otherwise when you're pushing... Pardon me for yawning. So, when you're pushing those easy nodes all the way to here and all the way to here, when you've already geared up, it feels a bit boring. But if you push those nodes before gearing up completely, it won't feel that boring, but it's gonna give you some challenge. And if you do it on Invasion 10, it's a good start. Invasion rank 10 is extra 1000 wood quality. On top of the chaos level of the different map, the different invasion node you're doing. You can see what I'm doing right now is 6200 wood quality with my items. Not too shabby. And if you do have one of those pendants, or amulets, or medals, or talismans, do use it. The one with crit chance food quality. When farming, when doing speed farming on easier difficulties, that's a great asset. And if someone needs items on PC, you can hit me up, I can give you items. I've got a lot of them, so if you want to speed things up, feel free to let me know. I do think that farming and getting the wood, that thrill of getting the wood is pretty good. So I understand how some people don't like getting wood as gifts and would rather find it themselves because they enjoy the whole thrill of finding it. But if someone does need wood, just let me know. I may not have min-maxed metal wood, but I do have decent stuff. Okay. And there's no turrets in this game, but we do have summons that can kind of act as turrets. I'm gonna do 2 more maps and then I'm gonna change to Elessa. And with Elessa I can maybe show you some summoner gameplay, because people enjoy seeing summoner gameplay. I know a lot of people like playing Pet Masters, Pokemaster builds. And the Pokemaster is definitely fun in this game. I think I need to go this way. Come on, jump down, jump down. Doesn't want to jump down. Why does he not want? Oh, there we go, he jumped. Yeah. You're on Xbox, oh yeah. Yeah, the grind is definitely fun, but the ghost game aspect is kind of discouraging sometimes. I can feel how boring it could be for someone uh, constantly playing it solo. The good thing is you have local co-op, so you can get a buddy of yours to come to your house and you can play together. He can walk one of your other characters or make a new one, and at least that's something you can do, and it doesn't have to be on a console. You can do local co-op for up to 4 people on PC as well. So on PC I can be playing with my mouse and keyboard, and then I can have 3 of my friends on controllers playing on my machine on the same screen without splitting it or anything. Actually, I've never tried it, so I can't confirm whether it's without splitting, but my guess is it doesn't split. And you just probably can't get out of the screen of the other character. We'll see. We'll have to see about that. Someone who has tried it could confirm. But let's say you have a wife or a girlfriend or a brother or a sister or a grandmother or a grandfather or a father or mother, any type of family member, cousin that wants to play with you. You can do that in this game thanks to the local co-op. Did I kill the creature? No. Sorry, I'm a bit sleepy. Kind of got woken up before finishing my sleep by my cat spilling water on me from above my bed. Today that's how I woke up this afternoon. My cat spilling my water I had prepared to drink on me, cold water. Pretty fun way to get woken up. He's a good boy, but doing shit like that kind of makes him a bit of a naughty pet. But he did it to get my attention, to get me to feed him. He didn't do it with bad intentions, the poor creature. Yeah, I still have stuff to do in this game. I have stuff to do in this game. I mean, I can always min-max my stuff. I can always min-max my stuff in this game. And I do have some sets for which I haven't made builds intentionally. I've intentionally avoided making builds for certain sets because I don't think they're as fun as I would like them to be at the moment. And this guy, if you're not doing a Strike of the Anvil build, it kind of feels very underwhelming, unfortunately. That's how it is. Yeah, Laceration is good for farming, if you wanted to, but it's still not as fast as this one. And even a bleeding setup is it's not as good as that one. But it's not so bad. Okay, I'm gonna do this one and then I will go and play a bit on the summoner. Alright, let's try again. I probably should switch my build for this boss. I'm gonna try one more time with this build. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna go for another. Because I do want to have the wood quality stacking from this build. Shit, I missed it. Okay, this one's done. Let's go on the summoner now. I know people love pet masters, Pokemasters, and Lesser is fun to play with the summoner build. I don't use her summoner build for farming, but I'm gonna use it now. I normally use the poison build because the poison build is superior for farming because of the AoE. So if you're farming lower difficulties, the poison is the way to go. But if you're farming pushing and whatever, summoner is fine. Okay, I'm gonna do that stuff here with the summoner setup. I didn't check which rank I'm doing. Am I doing rank 28? Probably doing rank 28 invasions. Yeah, rank 28. Wait, which summoner build am I using? I wanna see my passives. Oh, I'm using this one. I was experimenting with that one before. So it's not the best summoner build I've done so far. I've done better ones, but I was experimenting last time I played this. It's slightly lower in terms of damage. So what item am I using? Am I still using the deadly tips? Oh, I'm using the tireless guardians. Okay. So this requires me to do things like this to stack up to 400% extra damage. So this setup does not have a build video of its own. But I do have a build video for the other summoner setup, which is very similar, just slightly different and more consistent with the damage. Because with this one I need to be constantly going through my guardians to regenerate HP. You can see those glowing wisps, those glowing spirits. They regenerate my energy, and they also give me 200% damage for 8 seconds, which stacks up to 2 times for 400% damage. And I normally use this one. I normally use where is it? This one. This gives me 30% damage based on my 30% damage for each summoned creature. And since I normally do something like this one here, this allows us to spawn new dryads. So if our dryads keep killing enemies, they can keep spawning more. So this is 4 summons with the chance of getting up to 2, 3, 4 more. Then I use this one that allows us to summon new dryads, and then we have this one here for another one, and then this one for another 3, and then regenerating energy through the familiar another 2. So we do get still kind of around 400-ish damage. We just have to keep the dryads alive at all times to get that damage. And with this one I just have to dodge through my spirit to regenerate energy. I mean, it doesn't have to be dodging, but this is a fun setup regardless. Okay. Let's get some fragments. Give me more, give me more, give me more. But yeah, there will be some walls in half an hour roughly. Half an hour, 20 minutes from now, I'm gonna stop this stream and then take 5-10 minutes to update my titles, thumbnails and everything on all 3 platforms. Update my social media messages. And there will be Wilson. So I was just checking in on this game for a couple of hours or so today, just to make sure I've not become stale on it. Keep the flow going. And since some people might have been interested about seeing it, and it did update on PS and Xbox soon, so some people might need some advice. So I'd rather stream for a bit and answer some questions, give some hints and tips in what would be efficient when you're gearing up, farming initially, what builds to use for what situations. Oh, whoa, 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 look at that chain pull. One pulls me, then another one pulls me, then a third one pulls. Oh no, no. Heal, 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 heal. There we go. Heal. Did I wood a big chest in this map? I'm not sure I did. I think I didn't. No, 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 no. Survive, survive, survive. Okay, so there was no big chest here. Just wanted to make sure. Alright, let's do a bit more. If anyone wants me to go on the soldier, let me know. And if third letter is leaving, peace out to you, dude. Until next time. And yeah, if you guys want to see the soldier, let me know. But at the moment, I'm gonna be doing LS until the end of the stream, unless someone wants to see the soldier in action. So I'm letting you let me know. Warhammer Odyssey. Oh, Gwent, is that the mobile one? I've only seen screenshots of the mobile Warhammer game. I know it's kind of a hack and slash, but since it's mobile, I just stayed away from it. Is it the Diablo Immortal of Warhammer? I've never tried Diablo Immortal, nor have I tried Odyssey, so I mean I don't want to be playing games on my phone. Unless I'm on the go, on the move. I understand that when being on the move, some games are better. I still think if you're on the move, a Switch is a good choice, if you can afford it. The class is great, yeah. This game definitely has chosen some of the most boring classes from the Warhammer Age of Sigmar universe. It could have chosen much more fun classes. Thankfully the engineer that's coming would be such a fun class. And welcome back, Gwent, nice to see you again. By the way, did you see the review, Gwent? Did you see the review about the new Warhammer banner or whatever it's gonna be called for in general for both universes? Because they're making movies, they're making Warhammer movies and animation and stuff like that, and they're gonna group it up. So they're making both 3D animation and also live action series. Well, I might give you the article if you want. If you want the link, I'm gonna give you the article. So they've been in development for quite some time, and there's some teasers. And from the teasers, you can see some hugely nicely done stuff. Just a moment. This is not something to miss out on. If you're a Warhammer fan, you definitely wanna see this stuff. Just a second to see where it was. So well, it's a link under a link, so I'm just gonna open the first link that opens the big link, and then I'm gonna show you that. That's it. So that's the link. It's a shortened link from Twitter. Don't worry, it's not. It looks like a weird link, but it's just a shortened Twitter link. And then it should lead you to something that says Warhammer: A New Beginning, and you would be seeing some iconic things. You're seeing a space marine, and then you're seeing a Stormcast Eternal. And the Stormcast Eternal is doing that Warhammer uh, attack for the ident. They're calling this Wogu the ident. And I'd really love to see a Stormcast Eternal as a playable class in a game like this one. So yeah, check this link, there's some good info about upcoming projects that have been under development for quite some time, including a live action series Warhammer things, and also a 3D animation one. I think the 3D animation is the 40k one, and I think also with the 40k there's a Warhammer series with that infamous Inquisitor. So we have two Warhammer 40k things in the works at the moment. And they want to do the community justice by making those right from what we're getting from the articles. I'm gonna trust them for their words, and hopefully they end up really delivering on what they're saying. Because the Warhammer universe is ripe for plucking and using in the film and animation industry, in the film and animation industry. Those two universes, 40k and Age of Sigmar, are just perfect for both live action and for well done CGI animation series, movies, etc. If done well, if the script is right. I just hope they don't flop. I really hope they don't flop. We don't want another Warcraft movie. We don't want the same that happened with the Warcraft movie happening to Warhammer. Honestly though, I actually did enjoy the Warcraft movie to a certain extent. To a certain extent I did like it, but there are things that I think could have been done much better. So we'll see how it will be with the Chaosbane one in a few years when we have more info. I like that they're going for a series rather than a movie. They're not going for a big blockbuster, they're going for something more intimate like a series, so that's probably less demanding in terms of certain aspects. But yeah, Stormcast Eternal on the big or small screen. Something that would look amazing. And some Space Marines. And I find it weird how they're saying that the Warhammer fans are expecting a certain level of quality delivered and attached to the name. Yet we have things like Inquisitor Martyr being kind of mediocre, and this game also kind of being close to the mediocre mark at the moment. So the people who said that there probably have no idea about those two games. Or have no idea but try to not acknowledge them. The Warhammer Curse, oh okay. I've never heard of this Warhammer Curse, could you elaborate what it is? strategy Warhammer games are actually pretty successful and nice. Oh, the Warhammer Age of Reckoning and yeah, I do remember the online game. Actually, even played it for a while, I think. I think I had a chance to play it without needing to pay for a bit, and then I tried it in the betas or whatever long ago. Dawn of War 1. Dawn of War 1 was actually the one I've also played. Maybe a little bit of 2, but that's it. I've not played the Total War 1. And I've not played any of the more recent ones either. Oh, and there was another online battle arena which I really enjoyed playing back in the day. There was some sort of a MOBA which is not your typical assault on strife towers etc. And basically it was more like a PvP arena, which probably should not have come at the time it did. I think if it came at this time, people would have enjoyed it more than back when it released. But it was fun. It was not that bad. It wasn't great, but it was an online battle arena with the Warhammer fantasy universe that could have offered you some good PvP fun times every now and then. It had different deathmatch modes, team deathmatch, etc. So it wasn't that bad. I really don't remember the name of this game though. No, it was not 40k, it was the fantasy, it was Age of Sigmar universe. It had different things, like one of the classes I remember playing was the assassin from the Vrunic, from the Skaven assassin. That was one of the classes I remember playing a lot. It was some sort of a deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag. Your typical old school PvP modes. Not the new stuff like Overwatch and Paladins and all that unnecessarily complicated bullshit. It was typical classical old school, but it was recent. It was like 5-6 years ago the most when the game was out. Probably 2012, 2013, 2014. I really can't remember exactly when it was, but I remember it was a Warhammer fantasy universe, and it was a battle arena, kind of online battle arena. Team Deathmatch and Capture the Flag were the things I played the most. I can't remember if there was free for all, but I think there was. Oh, and there was point control also. There was 3 points and you have to stand in the point and control it. And you have to kind of decide how to split up the team. Who would go and capture this point, who would go and capture that point. So there was this type similar to Guild Wars 2 PvP as well. And I'm not sure what happened to that game. Probably not many people played it back then. Maybe if it were to release now, it would have been a more played and more enjoyed title than back then. Well, I wasn't the only one because I was playing with other people. I think it was in EA. I think it was an EA title. That's why people didn't play it. It might have been EA title. Let me try and look it up. Just give me a moment. I'm trying to find it. I'm finding some titles, but that's not the one. Damn, what was the name? The name of... I'm trying to remember the name of the damn game. Wow, there's been so many Warhammer titles recently. It's like they're mass producing those games. Well, I can't find it with a simple look. Uh, yeah, I can't find any videos about this game. I'm gonna try and find it later. Hopefully I can see it. But yeah, it was a very fun Warhammer PvP game back in the day. I wish I knew the name just to look it up. They might have wiped all traces of the game from the internet. And since I can't remember the name, it's gonna be difficult to find some information about it. Wouldn't be surprised if it ended up getting wiped, but I do think it was EA had something to do with the game. Which might explain a lot of things of why it didn't work out. But you only had 2 teams, I think, or maybe it was 3 teams. Okay, so yeah, a couple more maps after this one, and then I'm gonna do a short break and switch to Wolsen. So if you wanna see some Wolsen, folks, there will be some more. I did get the trial belt yesterday, so I have 3 days before the wipes to play with some trial belt setups. And I want to try some more tanky setups. Now that I have the trial belt, I can probably afford to be a bit more tanky and rely on those weaknesses from the belt to do damage. We'll see what I can do later today. I do want to improve this assassin build I was making yesterday. I want to go all in on the force shield and health setup. Unfortunately I can't do the conversion thing because I don't have the armor for it, but I want to do that assassin with shit tons of defensive ability and Wife Leech. I could try using Wife Leech gems. Maybe that would be nice. Stacking. See what's here. Let's into a couple more maps. Let's do this one first. Okay, I think I can just run. By the time I reach the boss, there would be enough kills to continue. Wow, still haven't killed all the enemies. At least there's a chest here and it's a horny one. Okay, let's keep it moving, keep it moving. Wow, this one, okay, it died, never mind. I was gonna say this one doesn't wanna die easily. Okay, next. So this will be last map, then I'm quickly doing 5-10 minutes break before switching to WoWs, and I just need to update my YouTube thumbnails, my Twitch, YouTube and Mixer titles, and my social media blast messages, and then I should be able to start ASAP. How many times am I gonna die on this one? Let's see. Come on, pets, do your thing, pets. So far so good, I'm not dying, but because I'm playing safer. Let's see. Any characters at the moment that are more meta or OP? More meta or OP? Well, depending what you mean by meta or OP. For damage, Bragi is huge, but he if you go for damage, he's not gonna be as tanky. For tanky with some decent damage, Conrad. Conrad is probably the best at the moment in regards to combining extremely tanky setup with the Justice set, with the Someone's Justice set, and like let's say with good setup you can do 30-40 million damage and still survive on Chaos 8 and on the hard content. And then there's the Mage. The Mage has the Ut1 set that can be tanky and do decent damage. The Morvel set can also be tanky and do decent damage. And if you want a Glass Cannon Mage set, you can go for a melee Mage with the Dragon Tamer. The Dragon Tamer is such a strong set on the Mage. For Elessa, unfortunately, the things are not looking that good. And probably the Summoner is the one set that can do decent decent damage, not that good, but still okay damage, and allow you to survive because you're relying on the pets to do the tanking and the killing for you. So if you play it safer with a pet build, you might be able to survive a bit more. The poison build I also enjoy, and you can get a very good tanky poison setup. I've shown a slightly more tanky poison setups where I'm taking a lot of poison, a lot of damage reduction from gears and skills, but it's not everyone's cup of tea. And it's not gonna be easy to play it if you decide to go for a health regeneration stacking build, where you kind of need to stay into certain places and stay still to get the health regeneration proccing. So it's a bit difficult to work at all times, but it is a fun build as well. So I hope this is good enough info to kind of let you decide what fits your playstyle more. The Pistolier on Conrad, the Pistolier is very strong until a certain point. Until a certain point when you need defenses, but before you end up needing defenses, the Pistolier on Conrad, the heroic one, is strong too. I do have a lot of builds on YouTube, but I don't know what exactly you're looking for. If you're looking for damage, then Bragi Crit Monster is strong. Then the Arcane Phantom, which is the Dragon Tamer build, as I call it, Arcane Phantom. For the mage is the damage one, the one with shit tons of damage, and then the Pistolier on Conrad is the one with the most damage, but not with the most survivability. In terms of pure OP, I would suggest Sowan's Justice set, which is Justice of the Empire, Heroic, Holy Justice, I think I've called the build, and Ut1's Bunker. Those are the two that I think can combine very good survivability and damage. There are a lot of things that are probably still to be figured out that I've not explored, but yeah, the secondary tree, the secondary tree comes from a DLC, which can either be separate or part of the seasons pack. So if you have the seasons pack, you should have access to the second tree. If you don't have the seasons pack, unfortunately, it is a DLC, a God Skills DLC as it's called. If you want setups without the secondary God Skill tree, you can try using the Ut1 set, the Ut1 build. The Ut1 build doesn't necessarily need it, and that's good for it because it doesn't require the second God Skill tree. So the Mage Ut1 set is fine for that. There are other builds that I can make for not using the second God Skill tree, but currently the way I see it is the second God Skill tree has some very nice things for every character. For Bragi, it has an option to give you crit damage based on counter attack damage, and Having a few hundred crit damage based on counterattack damage is a huge DPS boost if you focus on blessing the items for flat damage and maybe 2 or 3 items for counterattack just to get that boost there. So I think I need 10 minutes, no more than 10 minutes is what I will need to update my titles and switch to Wosen. So I'm gonna stop the stream now for 10 minutes. Thanks everyone for watching. If you have more questions about this game or any other game I play or make content for, feel free to ask me. Feel free to come on my stream again and ask me. So be right back in 10 minutes, and until next time, keep it cool. Goodbye.